does clearly involve some form of opening the body. Pneumonia relates to the opening of the mouth, which could happen anywhere, but you're more exposed to pneumonia-causing agents in hospitals. So that's somewhat depressing. But we have this World Health Organization, which is something of a public health branch of the United Nations. We call it the WHO from time to time. And there's a lot of discussion about the World Health Organization right now. Their budget was something that was surprisingly small to me. I don't know if it's changed much in the last couple of years, but in 2015 to 16, their budget was about $4 billion. And $3 billion of that was funded by individual contributions, which I thought was quite surprising. I would have expected a lot more international governmental interplay for the World Health Organization. $4 billion doesn't feel like very much. But their main function: develop and implement strategies for treating the disease and managing public health campaigns, like in the smallpox vaccination. The WHO was largely behind pushing the smallpox vaccination to a much higher degree than it would have otherwise, and successfully eliminated the disease by the 1980s, I think it should have been, after the outbreaks in the 60s. So thanks to the World Health Organization, we no longer have to deal with smallpox. Yeah, anyway. So the WHO coordinates with member nations to identify and manage epidemics with member nations. Typically, there's a relationship between an individual nation and this international conglomerate, and you hope that they operate in harmony. Of course, there's been some drama between us and the World Health Organization, but I think that's now coming to a close. I think we're back on board with them now. But when we perform our coordination with them, we go through the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, situated in America. So we get our domestic infectious disease knowledge through the CDC, relay this to the World Health Organization, and this helps them plan out any sort of disease response they might have to perform for us, or at any point that the diseases that emerge in the United States might affect other nations. This is where they get all the information they need. One of the last categories, I think this is the last vocabulary breakdown we're going to have, is between emerging and re-emerging infectious disease. So an emerging disease is one that is new to humans or is becoming drastically more prevalent. So it may have existed before, and there's hundreds or thousands of cases now. So it's important for classifying diseases, modeling them, and allocating resources to deal with them. Classifying something as an emerging disease is a way of telling something like the World Health Organization that this disease needs this amount of attention in this place and this much money might be required. And again, like in the case of epidemics or pandemics, emerging diseases usually indicate that there is some out of whack balance in the equilibrium of this disease and its interaction with humans. Ebola is a common example of something like this. As a result of deforestation, human movements, encroachments into areas where they don't normally live. This brings about a lot of Ebola cases, particularly in 2014. You may recall there was a major outbreak in Western Africa of Ebola there that they feared would come to the United States. And I think there wound up being 8 cases or so in the U.S. before it was shut down and contained more completely. And emerging diseases in even small amounts can cause epidemic level disease outbreak. So by virtue of the fact that it is emerging, you would assume it's probably going to be a lot more infectious because we don't have the same immune response to the disease as we would if this were an ongoing endemic sort of disease. I have a question here, I guess, I suppose this is a question I'm intending to ask to everybody. So what factors contribute to increased capacity for pandemic development in the modern world? Oh, yes, I do remember writing this. Okay.